Welcome to Black Hollywood Live AfterBuzz. We're back doing one panel this week for Atlanta, Season 4, The Streisand Effect. Stay tuned. Yes.
Look at Jeff. I love it.
Guys, because you haven't heard Jeff rap. Jeff is actually a prolific, profound rapper with multitudes of songs.
Prolific and profound.
Yes.
Is he your manager?
Prolific just means a lot. Prolific just means he has a lot. He has a lot of songs.
Prolific, maybe profound, probably not.
It is. Tell them what your rap name is.
Graham Cracker.
Jeff Graham is Graham Cracker.
Oh my God, look it up on YouTube.
I take myself very seriously.
It's a very serious rap career. Oh my gosh. Welcome back to the show, everybody. There's 5 of us in the studio today. We're really excited. It's Atlanta. It was an amazing episode. Dark and funny, as usual. I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Joelle Monique. And this is my lovely panel.
Joelle, we're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Last week, Tehran, fun to have you over there.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm Jeff Graham. Thanks for tuning back in. You guys can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham and on Instagram at Jeffrey Crane Graham.
Oh, that sounds prolific and profound.
I'd say I'm both.
I cannot.
Hard to follow that, but follow me on Twitter at DeAnJilo TV or Instagram at DeAnJilo.
And I'm Rhelin, and you can follow me on Twitter at Rhelin Taylor Gang, or you can go on Instagram and follow me at Rhelin
Taylor Gang. I love that. Yo,
Thank you.
I feel like I need to have something cool to say.
I made it when I was in middle school. So.
I'm the bathrobe heartthrob. Tehran Von Ghasri. Find me at I Am Tehran on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their hot girlfriends to follow me. Let's make that happen. Let's make it a reality.
Preach.
And we're back. Okay. Oh, God. Heartthrob in the bathroom. Get out. Okay. So this episode, I want to just dive right. No, I'm sorry. Let me rewind really quick. I want to point out 2 things that I read this week. One, we officially have a season 2, which I am super excited about. It's great. Like, it's an amazing show. I'm really excited to see where we take it. It's obviously early. We're not quite sure what's going to be happening yet. We can't have predictions for season 2 yet, but I'm glad that we have one. I'm glad it was this early in the season that they were like, yes, please. So really cool. Second of all, did you guys know that the entire writer's room is black and mostly from the Atlanta area?
Yes.
I did not.
No,
and it also broke records. That's a piece of information we should know is that Atlanta's viewing actually broke FX records.
Wow.
That's a big deal.
Possibly.
Diversity is here to stay, and they're actually saying that Atlanta is one of those shows that shows it alongside shows like the Carmichael Show and things of that nature.
Makes me so happy because it's like networks are so afraid for this stuff, and it's like, no, all you have to do is greenlight a show like this, and you will literally break records.
You know, it's funny that it makes you so happy because you're the one out of a job. Like the rest of us, it makes us happy because, like, finally I get a chance. Like, sorry, Graham Cracker, but you're out of there, buddy.
It's really funny.
No, you should be excited because now you get introduced to new stories that maybe you hadn't heard before. Maybe aspects that you didn't know, which actually Donald Glover said was his main goal. Was like, you don't know the whole of like black culture. Like, it's diverse and it's wide and it's varied, and I'm going to show it in this show.
And it was brought up in this show. And I'd love to talk about that because that Nigerian comment was really,
really
God.
smart.
Yes.
We're going to get there. So let's just start with this great opening and introduction to a new character, which we all kind of have different theories about, I guess. Zan, who at first I was like, no, I get this guy, because when I'm uncomfortable in situations, like, I just laugh and try to join a conversation. It works a lot of the time too. You just laugh and slide your way in there, and people are like, yeah, friends. Don't be off-putting like Zan. He was really weird. What was your guys' first impression of Zan? Am I saying that right? Zan?
Zan.
Yeah, okay.
I don't
Zan sexual.
Yeah, that was the
Zan
beanie.
life.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't like him. I don't think we were supposed to like him. He did a good job, but I think, you know, we'll dive into it some more, but like, he kind of represented kind of that social aspect of like, and brought the pressure to the rapper to Paperboy to not respond, which I thought was like really interesting. And I mean, they really like, they didn't humanize him at all. Like, he was like almost on the extreme, like even to the last scene when the kid got robbed, like, or the pizza didn't come back to him, or he didn't get paid for the pizza. That's what I should say. But yeah, I don't like him.
I feel like I know him though. Like, that's
Of course you know
we
him.
all know his
On
name?
the low, it's part me, okay? This is a guy who's self-promoting the whole way.
I mean, the hat.
And I mean, yeah, the hat, like, I think I've used a couple of those hashtags.
But that's the thing is, like, I kind of didn't hate Zan because I'm like, oh, you're winning. Like, he's not. Do we blame him or do we blame the masses of sheep that?
Exactly.
I kind of was like, not like, we work at a network where people are self-promoting all the time, and like that is the new industry.
You know, I was
we're
gonna say,
here. You have to do that.
This is the first time it felt very Los Angeles to me as opposed to Atlanta, but I guess the same scene is probably happening down there of like, I'm just trying to get in, like wherever I fit in, like that's I'm down with that. So yeah, I definitely felt like I know him. Definitely felt like an extreme though. How'd you feel about him?
I don't know, cause like you guys said, like I feel that he is self-promoting himself, and then society does like kind of push on the person who's like doing the reviews, and like they want to hear more, they want to get the tea, the gossip. So it's like, do I hate him for like
Or
stirring
are
the pot,
we
or
him?
like
Are we-
pot? I mean,
yeah.
Are we that guy to all of our
We're
friends?
Snapchat.
Like,
But like low-key,
Yeah,
it's like
totally.
it's because I'm a Zan, but like I don't comment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm just like here for it though. Like I'm like scrolling on the gossip page trying to like read what people are saying, but I'm not like
and
you
you're
know.
not commenting, and you're maybe not getting the likes that he's getting. He had almost
Exactly.
3,000 likes on that one meme that he had put up. That was the whole thing. It had 2,932
yeah.
likes.
So wait,
and
y'all,
the
y'all
concept
defending
is,
this guy?
I'm
what y'all doing?
defending the concept of the blogger culture. That is
Yeah.
something that exists whether you want it to or not. We saw it with Key and Peele when they were on the VMAs as their blogger selves, as their alter egos, and that's what Zan represents. He was a promoter and a blogger, and he promoted that culture of that. It's something that's real, whether we accept it or not. We all know a Zan. He promotes clubs. He's trying to get fans. He's trying to fit in, and that's something that we see in the social media sphere. And whether we like it or not, all of us are a little bit of Zan,
That's what I
especially
said.
if
I
you're
am
trying to be
too.
famous.
Exactly.
And Atlanta is the Black Hollywood right now. There are movies being made in Atlanta that are promoting Black culture, and so it's only appropriate that Zan, the mixed Black person, is this person.
From a promotion standpoint, though, there's a difference between doing something to get a rise out of someone as opposed to doing it as an art or doing it for a purpose. And that's that's more my issue. Is like he openly admitted, yeah, I'm doing it. I mean, he opened up the conversation about the contradiction with rap and then also promotion, which is fine.
Sure.
However, but him as a character, like, and why I don't like him is there's no code or moral, like, okay, I'm doing this for a reason, as opposed to like he's just doing it because I want to get likes and I want to get attention.
There's no sense of
There's
art.
no depth. And for me as a promoter, I don't like. Yeah, we have an aspect of him, but I'm not about to do it just for likes. It needs to represent me, like not just me trying to get a rise out of someone.
I would say to piggyback off that thought, he also doesn't seem to have any idea how he affects other people. Like he seems to think like, oh no, this is just a game. That's how we do.
But it is.
Right.
He is a troll. He is a professional troll, and he's not the only one. It's not like we all don't know the name Perez Hilton. Who is Perez Hilton but basically just a white Zan? There is no basic difference between these two. They promote the blogger culture, and they promote it and push it forward. That's something that we as people, we watch and pay attention to. People don't remember. They need to remember that Drake won a Grammy for Back to Back, which basically said, it announced to the world, Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. You're supposed to be a gangster and you're tweeting instead. That's something that we saw. This is where the new hip hop beef even exists, is on the social media sphere. It's not real beef. It's not real. It's like it's promoting, just cross-promoting albums.
I'm gonna call you Professor Tehran from now on.
I'm just saying.
I know, I'm back at school right now.
While I'm professing, let me remind you that the episode was called The Streisand Effect. And while we were watching, you asked, what does that even mean? And the Streisand Effect is actually a social media term that exists where it means that you hide a piece of information because you push it so much in the social media sphere, it no longer really exists.
Hope y'all taking notes.
That's really a thing.
So I
Take
need
notes
this
at home.
to be explained. Like I'm still not there.
Yeah.
So you
Break
put
it
out
down.
a piece
Preach
of
it,
information
preach it.
so much. It's like a piece of information. Let's take a lot of the news about cop shootings, for example, because that's a bit of a hot button topic right now.
Is
You
it?
push it out into the social media so much that it no longer affects anyone. It's no longer relevant. It's
I
just
see.
information.
It's like a
And this comes,
collectivism.
and I think this comes from like the Barbra Streisand like.
That's what I was like. Is Barbara anyway?
Barbra Streisand.
So Barbra Streisand, there's a song came out and the main lyrics were just her name, Barbra
Exactly.
Streisand, and she hated it and
Cup
was
of
like,
noodles, right?
"I'm not going to give you the rights to it." And so the artist was just like, "Well, it's free, so you can't sue me. It's just a piece of property I put out. I can say whatever I want," and it blew up like overnight. But he didn't make any money off of it. But Barbra Streisand also couldn't close it down. Streisand
Right.
Effect.
And now he's, I mean, regardless of whether he made money on that, he's famous now.
Yeah.
So basically,
It's the same thing.
With the Streisand effect, you basically, if you hide a piece of information, if you try to censor it, if you try to pretend it didn't exist, it actually makes it more relevant because you're doing that, because you're conspiring. Right? It's like that's what makes it important. So that's what it does. You put it in the social media sphere because it was hidden. If it wasn't hidden in the first place, people might not have noticed. And that's what Paperboy did by addressing Zan's attack. He made him relevant.
Speaking of addressing, like, for me personally, I do not like when I see like my celebrities like that I love like clap back. Like that's just something I don't know. To me,
See, now it depends on the celebrity for me, because some celebrities are just bad at it, where they're just like fumbly and like F you, and that I think that. But you know,
Yeah,
like
you know, I guess
Chrissy
it
Teigen,
depends.
like
It
when she claps
depends.
back, when Chrissy gets back, I'm like, get it, girl, because she does it in a smart way. Or Marcia Gay, who's a great like feminist writer, when she claps back at people, like a lot of times it's just her posting their things again, and they just look ridiculous.
yeah,
and
so you know
stupid.
what? There's like a difference. I don't like when people are just like, you know, just profaning like F you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because to me, I might have like an old school like type of mindset to where I think like I want my celebrities to have a little mystery. Like I don't want to know who like Rihanna is beefing with, who she's cool with or who she's not, because that's what makes them like a celebrity.
But that's not the modern day celebrity. The modern day celebrity is accessible. That's the concept. That's why
I do
Rihanna has
not
50 million
like-
followers on Twitter. We want to see the train wreck. People, you want to talk about someone
Yeah.
clapping back? Kanye. Killer at clapping back. Why? Because it's a train wreck. You're watching him just crash off course, and we're all drawn to that. That's why we're watching the Kardashians.
But I feel
and
like it
reality
makes,
TV.
I don't know, for me, like as a real fan of these people, like if you're a real diehard, you really don't want to, because I'm honestly like, when I see Chris Brown clap back,
It's brilliant.
I know it's not.
His Facebook Live when he's like, "What's next? I'm a fart an elephant." Oh my gosh, maybe Chris. I don't know.
It really depends
No,
on what you're
God,
going to your artist for.
no.
Yeah,
because
I go for-
probably more on her side. Like,
because I love the artistry. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to see like, you know what I mean, like your personal life. That's why I'm always like, damn, like I really don't care.
Yeah, I
where
think
the
Chris
music
Brown would do a
at.
lot better if he would just sit down and be quiet. But,
You know?
but to Tehran's point, his fans like it, and like I might never ever have been a fan of Chris Brown again. But the girls that do like him, and even the dudes, they're like they rep it hard. They're following him on every single app. They're keeping
They
up
love
to date. You know, when he hashtags, they're hashtagging. So it works. But I think it's a good place to segue to Paperboy and his kind of reaction to all of this, which I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised by it or if I just wanted him to be better. Because to your point, like, why are you engaging the trolls? Like, that's like the number one rule of
That's
the
why
internet.
I
Like,
don't-
the minute
Yeah.
you engage.
But from his
Especially like,
perspective- go ahead.
sorry, because I also get mad is when they engage with the trolls, but there's like people on their pages that are saying like these long pages like, you inspire me every day. You listening to your music lifts me up. Nothing is being said to these people, but just like, you know, it's just dead silence. But to the trolls, it's like, oh, let me write you this long paragraph as to why you're wrong.
I mean, I think from his perspective, if somebody's saying wild something out their mouth in front of me, I'm going to probably respond. Like it's just,
Right.
I mean, and he's doing it to get a rise out of me, but it's kind of unfair to have that expectations for a celebrity, like because they're human too. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to say something wild out of my mouth. It's hard for me to not, even though the expectation is them to not do
But
that.
even to, I guess, to my.
But
if a friend were in the situation, I'd be like, just swerve, like, just right around them and keep going. Like, the more fuel you give it, like, that just makes him so happy and excited.
I think that Paperboy knows his music isn't as dope as he thinks it is. Like I think
You think it's
if-
like a subconscious thing?
Oh yeah, like if Paperboy really believed he was, Kanye's a bad example because if he really believed he was like in Golf Langer, like if he believed he was Tyler the Creator or something, he would not, because he would have confidence. I think it's an insecurity thing.
yeah.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, it's not like Zan wasn't hitting on major points, specifically like the whole, like, you called yourself Paperboy? Like, that's not a unique name in any circle.
But Zan
like,
did it on purpose. Zan,
Trying to get around
look, like most trolls, like professional trolls, not just haters on the internet. Professional trolls do what they can to get under the skin of the artist, celebrity, personality. Why? Because they want a reaction, and he got one.
Yeah.
This is the thing, like DeAnJilo said, Paperboy is coming off. He is portraying himself as a real person because he is actually a real person. This is a guy who even stated, I have to rap. He didn't say, I want to rap. He says, I have to rap. I have no other choice out. I scare people at the ATM, right? That was a line he said. And so when he says things like this, you realize that he feels that rap is his only outlet. It's not because he wants it to be. It's because he feels like it has to be. Putting that into perspective, he's just a real guy. And when a real guy, someone comes at you sideways, you go back at him sideways, especially Paperboy, who's coming off as, I'm a street dude. I'm a street dude. And in the streets, if you say something to me, I have to smack you in the face.
You know what? Because I'm actually a little unfair and biased because I always compare, like, any celebrity, like, damn, but Beyonce don't be saying anything. You know what? That's exactly what I think all the time.
But
and that's the
Beyonce's been
standard that I always set everybody
She's been
to.
a star
and not
since
everybody.
7.
Exactly.
So when she's
I
at
can't
home,
give
Beyonce
everybody
goes
that.
crazy. She just doesn't say anything.
Exactly. That's
She's
what
been
I
raised
think.
that.
I'm just like comparing everybody to like the Beyonce standard, like, do the Beyonce way, or I don't know, it's not gonna look too good for you.
You're right
I
that
like this standard of living.
I know the queen. Paperboy's only way to communicate is through rap, which is a really good point that you bring up. It's essentially it's someone coming up to me and sewing my mouth shut. And what do I do? You know, like I'm a straight white male. Like I don't. Rap isn't my only platform to engage with people, and like Paperboy, that really is his only. I like that point you brought up, Tehran.
Yeah, it's the only way it gets out. And there was a line that actually really, when we're talking about prolific and profound, we were talking in our group that this show says so little, it does so little, but says so much, right?
Yeah.
There's a line in it with the breakfast cup where Darius is holding a breakfast cup, and Donald Glover Ern says, "You made that up," and he goes, "Nigga, everything's made up." Wow. Everything is made up. Even the social media, everything that we look at in the world that we believe in is made up. How do we know it goes on? Because the new character that was introduced this week were the billboards. We saw more billboards just focused. The Atlanta HIV billboard. There was no reason for that. He looks up, there's the little symbol, and then Atlanta, and it's like www.hivtesting.com or something. Then there's a jewelry billboard where it's like, for $100 like down or $200 down, put jewelry on layaway. If you have to put jewelry on layaway, you shouldn't own jewelry. But it's because we're all part of that Instagram culture. If we loved ourselves as much as we loved our selfies, the world would be a better place. But it's not, because we're buying into the culture that Zan is just a product of. That social media culture where as long as I look like I'm having a good time, it's better than actually having a good time. So everything is made up, and that's why this was such a profound episode. This one really was one of those where it didn't say anything, it said so much. Right. Even the trade up, it started out with the phone being turned in, and then going to the dog, and Ern says, "I needed money now." Poor people don't make investments. Yeah. We don't have time to invest. We're just too busy trying not to be poor. Well, that's the mentality, right? Because even the concept of money is really made up. Now, Darius did something that's almost a favor to Earn in a way. So we go back to that, and we're like, wow, we're watching all these little nuggets just being unfolded right in front of our eyes. Right in front of our eyes. Just amazing, profound statements for no reason. Just like, boom. Hence the Streisand Effect.
It's the visuals, and I really like what they did this week, as you were saying with the posters and stuff, but with Steve McQueen and this idea that, because like I didn't know Steve McQueen until I got to film school. Like I maybe heard it offhand, maybe. Do you guys know who Steve McQueen is?
No.
No.
I'm black. I don't know who black people are.
White person, you know.
I'm thinking of. What he directed something recently, didn't he?
No, son.
No.
Okay,
Steve McQueen is the king of cool.
Steve McQueen is a classic Hollywood actor, not classic, 70s. And if you look at modern male style, it all stems from how Steve McQueen used to dress. He's the cleanest, flyest white boy ever on the planet. He looks so good. He would drove great cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's what?
Yeah, that's why the poster in the background.
He's the George Clooney of the time. He's like James Dean, George Clooney. He's the stature of what, like the coolest just guy who just, he can hold his own and he can beat anyone up and drive drives the fast car and gets the girl and saves the day, and it's just the rebel, but you know, without a cause, but with the cause. That's Steve McQueen. He's like the epitome
Alexander
of that.
McQueen.
Yeah, just the. Thank you for the photo, Booth. I really appreciate it.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's who
he is
everyone
gonna
like in America. Every guy, every like white guy wanted to be. Even internationally, that became the guy that everyone wanted
He's
to
the
be.
70s James Dean.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
James
pretty
Dean
much.
was 60s and younger, and he is the guy. Like if James Dean
He's like
grew
the George
up,
Clooney,
it would be Steve
like,
McQueen.
Yeah.
so yeah.
Silver
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
He was clean cut. He could play like a variety of roles. He was talented. He dated all the hottest women. He was just real cool, and I like the aspect of showing two Americas at this point,
Big
and this
time.
idea of who has to or who has the ability to cross over. And I also, and this is the part where we get to, but I'm Nigerian, which killed me because my African friends, not African American, but my African friends who live in America are always talking about the difference of being like a Black American and being an African American. And it's two completely different worlds, and it's two completely different, like, sets of rules, essentially. And what, like they don't have to pertain to necessarily just Black culture. Like, they learn about American culture, and they're still kind of outsiders, whereas Black Americans, I feel like, are inside the culture, and then we create
We are the
our own
culture.
bubbles. Yes, exactly.
We set the culture.
Because I was also thinking too, like, I don't know whether or not he is Nigerian, but you know how it goes. Like, you meet somebody who's Black sometimes, like, what are you? Oh, I'm Black, but I'm like Cherokee. Then I'm like, you know what I mean? Because for
Gotta
me,
add that
like,
flavor into
yeah, that's why at first I was like, wait, is he really Nigerian?
It'll be interesting to meet his parents, because it's very
Yeah.
possible that his parents are like Nigerian immigrants, and he
Yeah,
is like
so that's I'm like,
Second gen.
yeah, second generation American.
I will say, I don't know if you're gonna get to this, but we got to see Darius and Ern kind of interact with each other, which I thought
this
was
was
like
fun.
I
really,
love
really
that.
fun to see.
Before
Absolutely.
we get there, I do want to make a point on the Nigerian thing, and it actually comes down when you were saying my African friends versus my Black American friends, right? The difference. A lot of people with foreign culture, even though Black Africans are Black and Americans are Black Americans, they see themselves as different and in a lot of ways better.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it came down to. Is of course I'm Nigerian. Like, I have more information about something than you do. It's like a difference, and it's a difference that we put on ourselves even, which is why a lot of Black people go out and say, "Oh, well, I'm part Cherokee,"
Yeah.
as if just being Black isn't
enough.
But it, obviously, it's something that's an insecurity, as we were saying about
Yeah.
Paperboy, about his music. This is an insecurity about a culture. Like, a Black culture isn't enough. If I had a foreign element, then I've added a new level and a new
And it's
dimension
so-
and a new form of depth.
That's crazy to me too, because my grandparents are immigrants from Japan. So, and I have like a lot of like mixed friends, and so we are always so like, we Black, like, you know, but we don't want to say like, you know, like, oh, we have family like from other places. So it's crazy to me like when people do that, because I was like, I am like so proud to like be a Black woman. So I mean, I don't know. So I
I
didn't
think
know
race
whether or not
switching has to happen. I don't know if it has to happen, but it just does happen a lot, just in order to fit into
Yeah.
certain areas. Because, like, I grew up in a white community, and I'm light skinned, and people will just refuse to believe that you're Black. Like, they're like, yeah, but what else?
Like
as
Steph-
if that
oh
wasn't
my
enough.
God.
Steph Curry. Steph
Yeah.
Curry,
Yeah.
who's both his parents are Black. People always think he's mixed because he's light skinned. It's like, yeah, well, maybe his great grandmother was, you know, had a
Stuff
mix.
happened.
Yeah, stuff
Yeah.
happened.
Stuff
Like,
happened.
because I don't want to assume
Yeah.
what happened, but it could have happened, and now we're looking at this. But like me being half Persian, half Black, I see people treat me different, and it's not just Persian people; it's Black people. Black people will assume things about me, or they'll always be like, "Oh, well, you're only half Black," as if that's not enough. But if I'm in the car and a cop pulls us over, trust me, I'm getting on the floor too. Like, I'm right there with you and putting my hands up. But it's something that a lot of shows in the past haven't ever brought up.
Yeah.
The differences of having a different cultural identity, because Black American culture is different than just being Black. Being Black is a racial skin tone, right? And going with, let's say, race is part of that everything's made up situation, but culture exists. And
Right.
culture is something like is from a region or a tribe or a religious aspect, and it's something that sets you differently apart from other people. And to think that one culture knows more or is more, that is a root. That is a
Yeah.
problem.
And then to explore it in just a singular line,
Yeah,
I think
that's
is
the-
magical.
That's the best thing about it.
It's so good.
This
It's
long
so-
conversation off of just something so small
I know.
in the
Yeah.
car. You know?
It's so complicated, and like, if I may, the way the show uses language to explore these dynamics too. We've had someone questionably used the N-word in every episode. And it's been so interesting and educational.
Yeah, Zan. Zan just used it, and everyone felt like
so great.
when the way he dropped it, it was like, is he allowed to?
I know.
And he was so offended when they asked if he's black. Are you even black? He's like, yeah.
So it's so complicated, and like we don't know. I guess Zan is black. This question
we don't know, and we presume because of his comfort level, and
Right.
because like for me, like now I'm looking for signs. Like my whole family is very mixed. We none of us look like the other, and so I have a cousin whose dad is black, his mother is white, but he doesn't look black at all. But if you were to tell him that, he gets really offensive. He's very, very like. When he's talking to his friends, he's like, "No, I'm black. Like, you need to know this. It's important to him that you're aware of his identity." So I don't know if dude is black. He seems to identify as. But does it matter?
He's
in the long run?
transracial.
Like,
We're saying he's transracial right now. He's clearly black of some sort because he does have darker skin. Like that's not in question. We felt that way because of the shape of his head and his eyes. Like we all felt like he had some Asian background of some sort. Darius seemed to think it was Chinese.
You did?
Personally, yeah. I mean, I didn't. I think it was how comfortable he sounded when he spoke it, but I didn't question it.
It actually sounded forced to me. It sounded like he was trying to be cool. He's like, "Nigga, what?
that
What do
cheesy
you mean?"
smile.
Exactly.
like
And
the white guy in the first episode.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the quick change when he was like, "Hey, back off, Paperboy. Oh, is this your friend?" Like that whole like quick switch up made me be like, "You're adjusting again. You're just adjusting for tone. Like you're adjusting for the room."
The white guy in the first episode knew when and when not to say it, like
Yeah.
who
He
to
knew
say
who to say
around.
to,
He knew
yeah.
like, oh, I can
Because
say
he
it
didn't
in
have the
front of
color.
her.
He didn't have the color
Yeah.
card that
Back it
Zan
up.
does.
Yeah.
And as a mixed person, I will say, and a lot of mixed people will probably feel the same. We have two voices. We have a black voice, or like a ghetto voice, and then we have the white proper voice that we use often and we interchange. And I saw Zan do that when he was tough and then he was friendly. He had personalities that he interchanged.
Right.
And that's why when people didn't like Zan, like DeAnJilo didn't like him, he was meant for you not to like, and that's what I liked about him, is the fact that he portrayed that character so well.
As long as y'all aren't defending him, that's the only thing. I was like, look, I understand that that's a reality, but that I have a problem when, personally, like as a moral code, like for you to defend someone who is okay with exploiting like an entire business and he's okay with it, you know what I mean? As opposed to saying, oh, it's a problem that business is being exploited,
Okay,
you know?
but I gotta say, if we're talking exploitation, Ern and Darius this whole episode, that's all they did was
no doubt.
So
No doubt.
Okay.
I-
Jeff.
What do you mean,
I feel
Jeff?
the
What do you
same way
mean?
too.
How so?
they were hustling all episode, and I was like, gosh, this is the same narrative in each of these threads through the episode. We have Zan exploiting Paperboy's fame to get somewhere, but we've got Ern, we've got Darius exploiting people's ignorance to get somewhere too. Granted, it didn't lead anywhere till September, but
But we don't know if they necessarily were exploiting. It seemed like everything was on an up and up trade. He was just making smart decisions to get.
but
Well,
isn't Zan making smart decisions to get? I don't know.
Are they smart though? Like
Wait,
Zan-
legal.
He's winning.
Do you look at
winning.
Perez Hilton like as if he's dumb? But see, with Ern and Darius, what they were doing, trading up, there's a case, Canadian Kyle McDonald, who had a red paper clip and traded up to a house. That's a real story off of Craigslist, right? So
I got a
that's
job in LA,
similar.
so I must have figured something.
Yeah, you're hustling. We're all, and that's
Right.
what the point is. We're all hustling. The culmination of all that really came down to Ern's remarks about being poor. That's
Yeah.
what it really came down to. Darius had just made possibly the wisest decision he could. Let's $2,000 a puppy, half of it's yours. You're looking at a litter average of 8. Wow, that's a lot, right? And yet, but Ern couldn't get there because he's like, I'm poor now. It doesn't feed me. My van needed this money. My baby needed this money today.
Right.
And that's a real thing. That's something we have to look at ourselves and look in the mirror. We all have felt that way before. We have chosen the easier path because it was more convenient, and today over something more difficult and hard because it was tomorrow.
No doubt.
It's a
don't
dream
even know.
killer.
Look, I have a hard time saying that it's about, like, what path is harder? Like, going home and telling your family, like, I don't have the stuff to feed you. Like, I'm going to have it. Rely on that. Trust in the faith that it's coming. Or being able to deliver today and being like, look, I brought something home. Like, you don't have to worry about the roof over your head. You don't have to worry about food in your belly. Like, I feel like both paths are impossible tracks to tread. And at this point, he's got no legs to stand on.
I mean, Ern's kind of doing that anyway when he has those conversations with his, I don't even know what to call her, quasi-girlfriend.
Baby mama.
Yeah, baby
His
mama.
millennial
I don't want to call her that.
relationship.
It's got a little bit more depth to that, it seems like. But I say, yeah, I mean, he's been saying that's the whole argument. He's like, I think at the end of the last episode, he was like, I have to do it my way. I know it doesn't look clean right now.
Sure.
But so, I mean, to an extent, he is enacting that mentality, but just not.
But
with his
dreams don't pay the
finances.
bills, DeAnJilo. We all know that.
And
Like,
that's
we all
why
have
she's
dreams.
upset. That's
like,
why she's
dreams don't
upset,
pay the
no doubt.
bills, and that's what we're saying is the dichotomy that we see in the average, everyday person who goes to El Pollo Loco and is the cashier. Like, no one grew up. Most people, I don't want to say no one. There's this one guy who's like, one day, I too will work at El Pollo Loco. Like, sure. But most people don't grow up thinking that that's ultimately their goal. They end up being
And I
trapped
understand
in
that.
real
Like,
life.
don't get that twisted. Like, my mom, like, I just grew up with just my mom and my older brother. Like, and she had to get her master's degree with just us two and by herself. You know what I mean? I
Sure.
understand you have to make decisions. Like, don't get it twisted in that, but I'm saying you have to make the decisions, and sometimes you have to go through some type of turmoil to get there. I mean, shout out to my moms, and I know how difficult that is because, you know, I got my bachelor's degree and I was taking care of myself and it was hard. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean like there's no adversity you have to take, but I guess when it comes to looking at Ern in that situation, I definitely understand him saying, "Yo, I'm trying to get there. I'm working." You know what I mean? Like, and I know it don't look pretty, but it's gonna happen.
Like, trust. And the thing about Ern, and I feel like I just identify, like, if I'm not doing this, I don't want to be here.
Right.
Like, if it's not this, I don't understand the point of me surviving. I don't understand the point of just bringing home a paycheck and, like,
But what if it doesn't
being
work?
happy.
It's we're all going because we think Donald Glover's talented and we know it's his show and it's gonna work, right? But what if it doesn't work?
No, but I
There's a
don't
lot
know
of
that,
45-year-olds rubbing it like, "Yo, my mixtape any minute, any day." Like,
You're right,
what
though.
does it? What happens
Yeah.
if it doesn't work? And then what? Vanessa's supposed to waste her time and energy.
I'm
and
not
life?
even saying anything about Vanessa. Like, she gonna have to make her own decisions. And I don't know if Ern is talented. Like, I know Childish is
She
talented.
can't make her own
I think
decisions.
Ern is
They have a child.
Yeah.
It's not like Vanessa's just a girlfriend. There's a child involved. There is a financial, fiscal responsibility between the two, regardless of their relationship
That
and
doesn't mean
interaction.
Vanessa doesn't get to make her own decisions, though. Like,
It means that she needs a provider,
right, so she
supporter,
might have to
father.
kick Ern out. She might have to say, like, you don't, like, if you're going after your dream, like, me and your baby may not be here, and Ern would have to, like, come to terms with that. But I also understand where Ern is coming from in that, look, this is all I got. Like, I don't have much else to offer. Like,
He could get a job.
Right, and then where is his soul at? Where is he as a person? Where is he doing his thing?
That's an amazing way to think. I love it because I'm a millennial with you, but it's a very millennial way to think.
That's fine. He's
That
a
is,
millennial.
like, we all like, yo, where's his soul at? You know, I mean, we all grew up with parents
Yeah.
who, I feel like they still had souls, but you know what? They buckled up and went to work.
Yeah, and
we were
that's that
raised
we
with
never
rules.
have to go through the same thing. So I understand where he's like, and he's not getting any younger. So if he's gonna try, like, it feels like now is the time. And I totally understand if Vanessa looks at him one day and is like, look, I'm not waiting for you to make it.
But I
I'm
think
not
she knows
doing
he can
that.
do it because I rewatched the first episode, and when they were considering having Ern as the manager of Paperboy, he went to the dad and asked the dad, like, do you think he could do it? And the dad had said, like, when Ern puts his mind to something, he does it, but it has to be on his terms. And when he went to Vanessa after the night of the dinner, when he did that whole long spiel about, you know, like, have faith in him, like, he's gonna, like, pull through, she just opened the door and was like, you know, that's really some. But I think it's because she believes in him too, that he could possibly
So she
pull
called it
through.
stupid, like the stupidest thing ever,
Yeah,
but really
I think
believed
she
him?
was like, you're stupid because
It was
now I'm
passive
really
aggressive?
about to, because I think I'm
Yeah.
really about to, like, mess with you
I mean,
and go with
I was
you.
gonna
I don't
Hello.
think she
Hello.
did mess with
Yeah.
him. She did mess with him because he's been sleeping on Paperboy's couch. Whoa, let's find that one out.
That's recent though. That's not like the
But
past.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we just saw after this conversation, the next jump
Yeah.
is he has been sleeping on Paperboy's couch.
No doubt.
And it's been a little while because he's like even asking like, hey,
Can I do it
Is
again?
it cool if I do it again? He
But
didn't
let's
say,
look
yo,
at
just
potential
to-
other options for that. Maybe she kicked him out, but maybe his pride won't let him go back.
Yeah.
Either. Like, he's saying, I need this for my daughter. Like, his whole hustle, like, it seems like he's trying to get back to them.
And they just
But he's
had an
not going to
argument.
go back
They
empty-handed.
had an argument at the end of the last
They
episode
did.
anyway.
That's
so.
that's what it.
But this is, even though it's a linear system, there's been huge jumps between
doubt.
episodes,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they just had the argument and he's on the couch. We don't know that. What we do know is that time has elapsed. As if any of the past episodes are indications, there could be weeks, it could be a month. We just know the fact is he's sleeping on the couch
Right.
and not in the bed that he's used to sleeping in. Because he's been homeless this whole time anyway.
Right.
That's true.
Even his parents didn't let him back in.
But again, and sometimes I don't know. To me, like this is the best thing that could happen for him. Like it seems like everyone just lets him go and he gets real comfortable. Even now, we see him like sleeping on the couch with his headphones on. Like he's listening and maybe he's planning and maybe he's like. Sometimes art looks lazy as hell. Like you're sitting and planning, but also like he's always had something to fall back on. He's always had someone to make sure that he doesn't slip too far. I feel like Ern is one of those people who has to hit rock bottom in order to reach the top.
Because have we seen Ern prove a work ethic yet?
No. Not
haven't
really.
Really, like
We have.
Oh, yes, we have.
We have
Yes, we have.
the radio
beginning.
DJ.
That's the only thing. Like right
Is that
now,
work ethic or is that in the moment access and ability?
Right.
Like we haven't seen him struggle and work and fail and have to go back in again and again and again. To me, that's work ethic.
I don't
There's another
believe-
thing
We're
to
in the
be.
process of seeing it right now, though. Like it's
Yeah.
not like it's
Right,
like
but
we've
it's
known him for
slow.
10
That's
years.
what I'm saying.
We're just starting to see whatever it is. You know, we don't know his backstory.
I'm not saying he doesn't have it. I'm just saying I don't think we have fully seen it yet. Right now, he's getting high. He's hanging out with his cousin on his couch. He's saying he has got ideas, but
Art
these aren't
looks
great
lazy.
works of
I
art
remember a
songs.
great person said art looks lazy
He can look
at
lazy
times.
sometimes.
They're
I'm saying, I don't know.
working.
I don't know 100%.
I don't know. They're working. I see work. Paperboy just had a show.
Paperboy's
like,
working.
Yeah. He's his manager.
But
Yeah, he's working. I'm working.
Come on. I don't know.
I just
I'm defending
feel-
him, man.
I feel you.
like Ern is the character I know the least, and I feel like part of that owes to Donald Glover's performance. I feel like that's okay. I'm not saying that's good or
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I just feel like there's something kind of muted or like really restrained.
But that's what I'm saying with the cushioning of with he falls into other people.
Right.
Like again, like being someone's manager is great. Like I'm sure like Paperboy needs manager. He needs someone to be like, you don't need to be tweeting right now. He needs someone to be like, you know, you're starting to become famous. Like maybe drug dealing isn't the best
Don't
option
clap
for
back.
you right now. All of those things. But at the same time, by being able to fall back into these people, he's allowing them to kind of conform and adjust his like opinion of himself. Like he just kind of falls behind people.
He's just around.
Like even like he never really asked
Just
like
there.
where
just
the
there.
money was coming from or how he was gonna get it. Because before I make a deal for a sword, who are we giving this to?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
sure you have a dollar amount? But he just trusts people to take care of them. And
I don't know
falls
if
into
he
that pretty
trusts
easily.
people or if he trusted Darius.
Right.
Darius
That's
has
fair, that's
shown
He
an
gave his cell phone number to
extremely
Zan, though.
He's smart.
smart
You're right.
undertone. He did
But
what?
listen-
He gave his cell phone number to Zan in the beginning. That's why it kind of threw me off. Like, you're really gonna give him?
No. Of course he did. He's a manager. No, that's actually
what you do.
as a person with a promotional background, your ideal situation is to network with everyone. And Zan is obviously someone who's proven himself on a social media platform. So it just makes sense. Give me your number. We can exchange. You
me-
network with everyone. People are always excited to see the artist. Promoters and managers are excited to see the promoters and managers because those are the people who actually make the deal.
For me, though, like an evidence of Ern's passivity would be the dinner when he just kind of sat there and the waitress kept stacking on more and more and more. I didn't really see any kind of like stop or like let's go to a different
I
restaurant.
think he was doing that just because he was with the. He was trying to prove to Vanessa.
Yeah.
He was trying to impress Vanessa.
But like, does he need to impress Vanessa?
Yes.
Like, I feel like be a man and be real and
That's great, Jeff. That sounds like someone who's in a secure relationship.
They've got a kid. I don't have a kid.
No, but I'm just saying that sounds like someone who's on
Not
good
made
terms.
for a secure
Good terms
relationship.
with his girlfriend.
She
That
just
sounds
bailed
like
him
who
out
you
of
are.
jail.
I'm just like,
He got work to do.
Yeah, he does have work to do.
Who is Ern not insecure with? Who is Ern secure with right now?
No one but Ern. We still don't know like why Ern dropped out of a good college
Right.
and slipped
He
back
took, yeah, he
and
took
why
3
his,
years off.
Yeah,
That's a long
like
time.
he's fallen pretty far, and we're still not sure what triggered that. And I think that's going to be our key into understanding why Ern is the way he is. Like what is stopping him from thinking that he can be great? Even this, like I don't know if he fully believes in his cousin or if this is something for him to do.
I know.
Like if he starts seeing, he's starting to see because even the raps he's coming up with are lazy.
Yeah.
Like they're just like the whole. I can't even remember the lyrics.
Pussy relevance.
Thank you,
Yeah.
pussy relevance, mad intelligence, something like that. Like
That's a song Paperboy already had that he's putting to an idea of just having
just
it with
an-
music
yeah.
and stuff. And he said I played the recorder, which is really
Right.
funny because we all did it 3rd grade. But
Sure.
he was like I play on do-do-do-do-do, which was actually a play on Outkast's song, which is actually really creative. But the concept is that he is actually what we can see a pretty decent manager.
You think?
I think he is. I think Paperboy has been growing, and he heard and saw the vision from the first song. So Paperboy's first song was trash, and even though there's a difference between this is garbage and this is actual trash.
Right.
So when Zan makes fun and has Paperboy throwing out his mixtapes,
that's disrespectful.
Hilarious, right? Very disrespectful, hilarious. When he's just taking out the garbage. There is something can be garbage, but you know it's good. And a lot of trap music is technically garbage. Especially there was a time where there was a time, that's funny you brought him up, but there was a time
Fetty.
Well, I like Fetty too, but
old
is
school,
it good? Like,
all these old school rappers were talking about how much trash that down south music is, and now it's taken over.
Right.
And there is something
The
to
South
it.
got something to say, said Outkast, the first MTV award they won. Sorry, that's like my favorite moment in rap history.
Oh, yeah.
And walk up in those giant fuzzy pants. The South got something to say, and from then on out, I was Southern
They
rap.
had something to
Yeah.
say.
It was amazing.
Speaking of Paperboy, who is the person that's looking for him? That came
We don't
in the
know
pink
yet.
jacket. Who
We
do you
don't
guys
know
think
yet.
it's
Can we
gonna
make
be?
predictions on
yeah,
that, though?
because I'm
Not that
kind
we're
of
ready
like,
for predictions, but I want to predict this because that, first of all, the description of that was so like pink jacket, tan like car, leather seats, like smoking a swisher without the weed, and you saw instantly like he knew who it was, and it came right before the conversation of Zan releasing this stuff and being like, I have a reputation to keep up because he's still out and like. His talk isn't cheap. Like, he's doing the things to back it up. It makes me think like somebody's like, your profile is hot and you need to cool down.
I have 3 predictions.
okay.
Lay it on us.
Number 1, it's like a rep, like an A&R. Someone looking to
I was
sign
thinking that too. That was my first.
Number 2, it's related to the murder. Number 3, and this is my long shot, it's his father.
his father.
Father.
Back in the picture.
Damn.
Wow.
Twist.
Wow.
I'd
That's
be
those are
excited
good
to that.
predictions.
Really, that's it. Either one of those.
Sound.
Either of the 3. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I take it. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see where that comes out. I also want to talk about this last scene, which we kind of touched on a little bit. The visual imagery when they're at the farm and they're selling the dog, and right as he makes his speech, is so great to me. First of all, Dee's got the word profound written on his back.
True.
As they're talking about this long-term investment, which I thought was nice. I also like the fact that they shoot at like either sunrise or sunset, and we're getting solar flares, which usually stay for these very romantic, beautiful moments. But for him, it was an impassioned speech about how he's not making it. Like, it's not working for him. And he's gone through all of these things today just to try to get a little bit. Like, he was cool with, like, the $170 they were going to offer him for his phone. You know, and to find out now that he has to go home with nothing, and it's shot in this very, like, beautiful, picturesque way. I was curious as to what they were trying to tell us in this moment. And to me, it kind of came off like maybe he's romanticizing his situation a little bit. Because even Dee is like, it's September. Like, it's not that far away. Like, you have a job. Like, we're selling. Like, you could get in on that. Like, you have options. I'm setting you up for this long-term investment. He's like, he starts going off like, I can't. But you have a lot about, like, you're educated. You know, you don't live, like, Atlanta's job industry is not terrible. That's kind of coming out of my ass. I'm not 100% sure about it. But he has options.
He was at Princeton.
Right.
I just felt like this line, I'm poor, I don't have time to make investments. This
But he
isn't
did
about
make an
earn.
investment,
This
I
is
feel
about
like, in
America.
Paperboy.
Like, this is a socioeconomic statement, not about him. Like, this is what the show does. Is it says so much by doing so little. And this one line, I'm like, oh, I see, you're talking about our entire nation right now. Like, I was so moved. It was probably the way it was shot. And, like, yeah, we're just, like, at this farm. And there's just, like, it was, like, so beautiful. Like, this ending was, like, I was like, oh, my mind was blown again. Like...
I mean, that's interesting. I don't know. I think this is one of those moments where it's just kind of like in your face. He's just frustrated. He's showing his frustration with his process.
Yeah.
I think he's just like, yo, I know that I want to work towards his dream, and we're still trying to figure out what that dream is. But like, at the end of the day, like, he realizes I have a kid. You know, he probably just got kicked out. She mad at me. I can't come back home with $170 from my daughter. Like, I mean, it's just that simple. Like, I'm a little bit frustrated. And he's like, and it was interesting that he wasn't even angry with Darius. He was just frustrated. It was just more of an inner, it's like, man, I got to figure this out.
He wasn't
like,
angry with Darius after the explanation. Darius said, you said that you wanted more money. I got you more money.
Right.
In the form of an investment, but I got you more money. I told you, if you want to take the money now, take the money now.
Right.
And that was a very real statement. That's when Earn realized he can't be mad at anyone but himself.
Yeah.
And he did not ask the follow-up questions. But then we have this moment afterwards, which I think is always important. Ask the follow-up. If you're making a business deal.
Get the details.
It's just unnecessary.
Get the details.
But then we have this moment where he kind of sits on the car and has this thought like something changes in there, in his silence and just sitting there. And then Darius says, we're friends now, which to me is one of the most, like, you can't be someone's friend until you've had like a good fight. I feel like if things are always smooth, like, you're not friends yet. You're acquaintances who understand how not to upset each other. Like, real friends can have a fight and still make it through. Yeah. And I like that Darius just was like, and we've had that moment now. So now we're friends.
He's such a goof. I just feel like he's kind of he's a little off.
See, and to me, I don't think that he's off at all. I think he's very tuned in. Like, I mean...
He's like Phoebe from Friends. A little bit.
No, he's smart.
No, it's so much deeper. Because, like, look,
it's profound, like his shirt.
Yeah,
it's the thing. He's actually extremely woke and competent and aware. And the thing about Darius that people should realize is it's like that Nietzsche quote where the people who couldn't hear the music thought those who were dancing because they could were crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's that concept. He hears this music. He
Right.
gets it. He's dancing. Everyone's like, oh, he's just crazy, and plays him off. He is very underrated in that way.
I think he's brilliant. I just think he's a little off.
No, y'all know I'm the biggest Darius fan. Let's not give him too much credit. He's a little. I mean, he left the key for the handcuffs and stuff. He is a little off, and I'm still sure that he's high all the time.
Because they often forget they have so many things.
I think he's just high all the time, but he's also really intelligent.
He's his own drummer.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm convinced I've met at least one prophet, and Darius reminds me so much of him. Like, these cats who can just speak to you on a level of just, like, I understand your soul, who are really listening, which I think is super rare, especially in our generation, to have somebody actually, like, sit and hold a conversation with you and connect.
Thank you so much. I didn't even know you thought of me like that. Oh my gosh.
He looked right at the camera.
That was so sweet. You see what I mean? People finally appreciate it.
Oh, God. Okay.
Dr. T.
So, all right. So that was
Professor.
the Barbra Streisand effect. The Streisand effect.
Can I bring up one thing before we go to
Yes.
I've only had one moment in this series where the humor didn't work for me.
Oh.
And that was this joke of bleeping out this kid for a minute straight. That really took me out of the episode. I don't know how you guys felt.
And you know what? Now I kind of want to talk about that kid. Okay,
know.
first of all, that joke... Okay, that joke works for me because if you've ever seen a little kid who's been raised by immature adults, that will happen. And I can picture what he was saying.
Oh, yeah.
I maybe think they held it a little bit too long. I think structurally you're right. We could have maybe clipped like 5 or 10 seconds and narrowed it down a bit. And it's a little cliche.
It's cliche. I think I was like, oh, it's this show where like all language is fine. And I was like, oh, now we're like using a censorship bleep for a joke.
I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
It reminded you that it's a show.
Why though? Why be reminded that it's a show?
It needed to break up the monotony. It's coming off as we kept bringing up how real this is, and it's still showing you, hey, this is art imitating life. It's still art. And I think that goes actually in effect towards the director. I think it's also a play on some world star effects that I've seen with kids.
Yeah.
And DeAnJilo had said, and Rhelin, you had also said it's possibly that this child
I think
was
he's a YouTube star. I can't remember. Like, is this kid that just like says something wild? It's kind of funny.
And he did say something wild. And this was his alt. That wasn't his original. His original thing was something like, you know what it is, bitch, or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then this was the alt version, which was a long, just bleeped out version.
So, I think that's funny if that is him. Like, I mean,
Wait, is
it's
this
over the top, but
who stole his grandma's car?
no, that's not him. I know you're talking about.
Oh, I know.
No, that guy is not a YouTube star. That kid needs help.
He just graduated from school. I saw.
Did he?
Yeah.
Good for you, kid. Way to get your education. I'm proud of you. No, but did Paperboy help that kid? I mean,
No, he wrote
No,
it.
he walked out. He did,
Okay.
It was so absurd to him. He literally got out the car and just started walking
And
from
I thought he
wherever
was
they
gonna
were.
actually go help.
I think that was like,
Because
I thought we were going to see.
Zan was
I thought-
recording it.
Right.
That was a world star moment. That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That actually world star just recording the whole thing rather than actually
Helping.
Because see,
participating.
I thought Paperboy was seeing himself in the kid at some point, and clearly that maybe wasn't the case. I guess he was kind of more in the situation, but I thought like seeing this kid be kind
Manipulated.
Yeah, exactly. Manipulated, like he's like Paperboy's being manipulated his whole career. Like, you have this kid delivering you're gonna collect that paycheck, and you're just sending this kid out here to deliver your pizzas, and now he's getting robbed, and you're so absorbed in the thing that you're doing that you don't even see this kid that you're technically responsible for right now is getting robbed. And it could have been violent or whatever, but he's stripped off, and now that's your money. It's out of your pocket. You're not even realizing it.
But he's thinking, Zan's saying something different. His goal is something different. What's the difference between that and being at a club and instead of actually dancing, you just Snapchat dancing and then stop and then keep getting a Snapchat or a picture of you looking good but not actually enjoying the moment? What's different?
Right.
That's the culture we live in now.
That's
That is it.
interesting.
It's
And
a
your
bit
point's
different.
interesting too. Of like Paperboy wanting to kind of save this kid.
Yeah,
I want
thought,
that to be a thing, but I don't know if I saw it.
But see, maybe I'm forcing it, but maybe
No, I
his
like
walking
it, though.
away is how I see him treating himself.
Yeah.
Like the whole just forget it. Like I don't even care. Just
I mean,
go
he
back
tried
to do
that
what I gotta
earlier
do.
with the kid who was imitating him trying to kill,
Yeah. Like, oh, you shouldn't shoot.
That worked out interesting for him. So, like, I mean,
But this
good and
was
bad.
so absurd
Yeah,
for
it was
him.
just
Like,
really
he was just like,
absurd. Yeah, it's
what?
just like,
And
I
just
gotta be done.
This is because he was like, yo, I don't want to say anything in front of your son. He's like, that's not my son. This is my business partner.
It's absurd. Like
That
you
is
said.
so
Absurd is a
real. It's
great
just
word.
absurd.
Yeah.
It's just absurd.
Yeah,
to
you're
think
like, is
about.
this satire or is this documentary? Like, it was so, the line is so blurry, you know?
Yeah. Clearly, no morals or ethics as we previously
I'm bothered.
discussed. All right, let's get into some predictions for next week.
I can never do predictions because
On this show.
give me
I have confidence in you guys.
And
What-
now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
for
it's
our
DHL, that's why we didn't do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
So
It's both.
Thank you.
I'll start
It's
since I
both.
called
Thank you.
It can be AfterBuzz and Black Hollywood Live. It doesn't need to
course.
identify as one or the
Oh,
other.
wow.
We're together.
Thank
crossing
you,
into
everybody.
some
I'm out.
gray territory now.
Bars.
Oh God. Okay.
Bars.
I'm hoping we go back to. I want more of his baby, whose name I can't remember all of a sudden.
Telly?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Who? Earn's baby?
his
Yeah.
Lottie.
Lottie. Thank you.
Does she
I
have
want-
any lines yet? Or
No, I don't mean necessarily her as a person.
No shade.
I just mean him as a father, I guess.
I know. I thought I was gonna see Van this episode. I was like,
I
I'm
know.
channeling my
Where
inner
the
Van, my
parents at? I
natural
miss
hair
the
today.
parents.
Yeah.
The
Oh, I
parents.
love
There
the
were
parents.
two
They were
very
funny.
fascinating, like, sage, like, old guys. this
Yeah, you
episode.
did. Yeah, we were talking
But I
about
want
that.
more parents, I agree.
Yeah, especially hopefully maybe to get him to focus. I don't know. I want more of his family. His
Me
family
too.
is what is really intriguing to me
I've been
at
begging
this
for a
point.
flashback, and I don't think I'm gonna get it. So.
I don't want a
We'll get one.
flashback. I like staying in this
I
moment.
want a flashback, but I don't think I'm gonna
Explain
get one. I'm like, explain.
Why do you want to? Okay, so
I just want a flashback of like Princeton. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, maybe you know what? I did rewatch again the first episode, and Paperboy had said, "I had to help you out again." So I'm like, "What did you do the first time?"
Here's
but
what
we
I
don't
want.
know.
I don't want a flashback. I want a full episode of him at Princeton. No questions asked, no explanations. Episode 6
I think that's how they'll.
just,
that's how
when
they'll
they
do
explain it. Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
They're not gonna like be like here. It's just gonna be this was 2
Yeah.
years ago.
I don't know. I kind of like that we're just in this
now?
moment,
Just in Atlanta.
and I would really like it if somebody was just brought it up kind of abruptly, not in a way that explains or fills us in completely, but in that we get enough that we're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, exactly.
I'm trying to think if there's a relationship dynamic we haven't seen yet because we got Darius and Aaron, which is one we hadn't seen. I wonder how Aaron's baby mama feels
Van.
about Paperboy. We haven't seen anything like
Yeah,
that.
Vanessa hasn't really interacted with the crew at all, has she?
Yeah.
But we got to finally see Darius and Ern interact, and we were saying that on the last after show that we wanted to see that. But we want to
And
see
they're
the
friends
three
now.
of them
Yeah.
though. But we'll see it soon. I hope.
I think Van and Ern is actually my favorite part of the show as well. And so I'd love to see more of that. I want to see Ern, and we won't see it for a while, but I want to see Ern kind of have drive, like have a thing. Like we were talking before, like
Passion.
still-
I understand
know.
what you're saying. It's not that he's not good. It's not that he's not wanting to do it. I just don't feel like an on fire passion that I
Right.
think we expect out of artists, and it's not necessary
I
to
think
have it to be
Paperboy
an
doesn't really have a
artist.
passion.
You don't think?
Well, he said in the beginning because when he asked like, "Oh, Darius is your manager," he's like, "I don't need a manager. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get money real quick."
He said he's trying to survive and he
Yeah,
has to rap to
so-
make it.
yeah,
so I
and
don't see
here,
passion
yeah, he
from any of
reiterated
these
it.
guys.
Yeah.
And I wonder if maybe that's the point of the show, if we're ever going to see that. If there, because music seems to be just the out. It just seems to be the thing to do. Like, oh, well, we have the connections and it's a thing that we can do. I have to do this. You know, I can't work a regular job.
Wow.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah,
So many thoughts.
I've seen flashes of passion from all these guys.
Where?
of course
I'll
you
tell you,
did.
I mean, we all saw it. We saw Van. We saw a flash of passion when Ern was explaining it to Van. That was passion.
Yeah, you're right.
We saw a flash of passion when Paperboy was having a conversation with homeboy who he killed, or allegedly, we don't know what happened. We've seen flashes of passion from each single one of them. Every single time Darius speaks, just because he's not hyper about it, it's very passionate. He believes everything he is saying, regardless of if you believe it or not.
But that to me is not passion. Believing what you say. I mean, again.
But it's not for you to judge.
I think they're talking about maybe like passion.
His passion is being woke. He wants to stay woke no matter what the cost. That's
Are y'all talking ambition?
But I think you guys are talking about more passion from Earn for his work ethic, though, aren't you?
Yeah, or just.
Are you talking ambition?
And again, and I'm
I want to believe Earn. I haven't really believed Earn yet.
But he's never had the dare to be great situation happen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're waiting for it.
That is what we're waiting for.
Right.
That is the culmination of this entire episode.
First series,
This entire show
season.
is the dare to be great moment. And as millennials, that's what we've been taught to believe, is that one day something will rise to challenge us. There will be the Voldemort, and we need to be the Harry Potter.
Nah, and see, that's how
That's the
when I
thing.
talk about passion, I'm talking about unable to sleep. Like, I need to get this song out of my head. I'm talking about, like, I believe so hard in what you're doing that I'm gonna go out and call, like, I'm staying up late night to call everybody. Like, I'm calling last favors. Like, I'm like, why aren't we in the club tonight? Like, we should be performing today. I'm looking for all of that
But passion
stuff.
hits different people differently. Like,
Sure.
maybe that's not the way they exemplify
I'm
their
just saying
passion.
I'm not seeing it. I fully respect that you see it. I don't see it yet. I'm not saying it's not there, buried underneath.
You
Right
were
now,
just
it's
saying
moving
how
down.
he's willing to give up everything, like all the
But
normal
what's he
stuff for his
doing
soul.
though? How is he showing? Like he's not working because he's doing it. But what's
I think
he
there's a difference
doing?
between desire and wanting to accomplish
Right.
something and having the passion and the drive
Ambition
to succeed to make it
versus
through.
passion.
I think
And
it's
right
ambitious.
now, I don't think he's had. Again, he is ambitious because he wants
Right.
it, but he hasn't had. You know, we don't see him push
Yeah.
Right.
like it's floating. He's making it happen. It's going, but I'm not seeing that push.
So you're basically saying like he should have been. What is the strip club in Atlanta? King of Diamonds?
King of Diamonds.
He should have been in there just like performing
Give
it
me
up.
King of Diamonds. Give me even like he hasn't been in
Yeah,
like
he hasn't
a
been
studio
anywhere.
or
Yeah.
talking to a rep
Performing
or
Magic City.
like trying to like switch out cards. Like I'm just not seeing any of that. So you know,
Whoa! Did you just look at me and ask me what a strip club in Atlanta was? You look directly. There's a lot of people on
Yeah,
this
but,
panel, by
I
the way.
mean,
I just like to
Tehran,
point.
come on.
Am I gonna know?
bro.
In her defense, am I gonna know?
All right, guys. Thank you. Panel wonderful. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by these amazing people. I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Joelle Monique. Check me out next Thursday. I'll be covering HBO's something. You guys will know it. You'll see it. It's gonna be on Twitter. Follow me. Check it out.
Joelle, props to you as well. I know we're a lot of thoughtful people, so I appreciate you're really leading us very well.
Oh,
You're
thank
doing
you.
great. Yeah, you're welcome. You guys can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham. We'll see you next week.
Mike,
Did you just drop the pin?
My mic drop.
and check out his SoundCloud.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Plug it.
Graham Cracker.
Graham Cracker.
Pop that.
We know he got bars. If y'all watch the show, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
DeAnJilo. Follow
You might
me.
want to spell that.
Oh no, yeah, please.
I've
Look
done
at
it. Watch the last few
You're gonna
episodes.
do it.
Do it again.
Spell it.
No, you have to
Look
do it
below
every
in the-
episode.
Zan would spell it. Zan would spell it and
You
get
have
all
to
those
do it.
followers.
I'm not Zan. Lord knows I'm not Zan. Look below. You see how to spell the name. DeAnJilo TV on
Oh,
Twitter.
you're killing the
DeAnJilo
streak.
Instagram. I got a plug too. Watch me tomorrow on Blackish. We're going to review the first episode of the next season.
Oh.
So I'm not actually on the show.
Get it, hot stuff.
Maybe one
Amazing.
day, but check us out.
Maybe one day. And then you can follow me again on Twitter at Ray Taylor Gang, and then on Instagram, Rhelin Taylor, and look below so you know how to spell that.
And you can follow me at I am Tehran, because I think, therefore I am Tehran. At all social media, find me. I'm at Mondays and Thursdays at the Laugh Factory, and I am on the show Blackish. What up?
Oh, good night, guys. Bye.
Stunning on my ex.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.